going on, boys? I'm here with a post-theater sit-down for Brandon Cronenberg's Infinity Pool this time. Pretty late to the party, but I finally got the chance to see it. I'm a huge fan of his father, David Cronenberg's work. I've only seen a lot of the entry-level horror stuff, but like The Fly, Scanners, my favorite's probably Videodrome. I did see Crimes of the Future, gave that a rewatch and wasn't crazy a second time around. Let's get back to Brandon though. His filmography right now is pretty small. I've only seen Possessor. That one was pretty cool, you know, a lot of influences from his father, but it had his own flair to it, his own visual style, and it was very dark, gritty. I liked that one. And this movie is the same, you know. It has his own style to it, but you do see, you know, David Cronenberg in it a little bit. It has a lot of strengths. It has a lot of stuff that I didn't like. Start with the strengths though. It's a visually stunning movie, and it looks fantastic. You know, when you're at the resort scenes, it's lit nice, bright, colorful. It makes you feel like you're at a fancy resort. A lot of the later scenes use a lot of great, fantastic use of like neon lighting, and if you know me, I'm a sucker for neon lighting in horror films. Has not been an instance I could recall where I don't like that stuff, so I ate it up in this movie. The special effects and like practical effects, admittedly, not as much as I thought there would be, I would assume would be, but being the son of one of the masters of body horror, of course when he did use it, it looked solid. It was very reminiscent of like the 80s in terms of the like look of the practical effects. Good work. The acting was great. You know, obviously the two standouts were Mia Goth and Alex Skarsgård. Mia killed it, of course she did. Absolutely crazy and just totally mental in this movie. Did a fantastic job at her role. I'm gonna digress a little bit. I think, in my opinion, Mia Goth and less talked about Micah Monroe. Those are the two like real scream queens. They have some fantastic horror movies. Whereas I like Jenna and I like Anya, but I think they just need a few more horror movies to get to that status for me. But anyways, like I said, I digress. Alex Skarsgård. It was funny seeing him in this because, you know, his most recent movie that I see him in was The Northman, and it's just such different like looks and like different roles. Yeah, I mean, it shows he has good range, but yeah, he also did very solid at his role in this movie. The weaknesses, like, look, my biggest weakness is conceptually, like, this movie is really cool. You have rich tourists, they go to this, you know, kind of unstable country that has a lot of tourist attraction, a lot of tourist sites at it. They get into some serious trouble. It results in them in a public execution, but the government essentially offers them a massive sum of money to create a body double to stand in at that execution. And it kind of just results in them getting into some devious behavior and like just devious scenarios, and it's really cool. But the script and like the delivery kind of missed for me. I just think there's like, it's like a roller coaster. I was so drained at the end of the movie, and not in a particularly good way. There's just so many highs and so many lows, and just not enough time in between those. Like the lows just happen, and they don't give you enough time to process everything and kind of try and understand the characters and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna give it too low of a rating. I just think that like the visual strengths in this movie really balance everything out. So like the script and the story was not a huge fan of, but like those visuals, it's top notch. So I'm gonna give it a really light 7 out of 10. It's one of those films where I'm probably not gonna rewatch it anytime soon, and it's funny because we're right on the cusp. It's right around the corner is the uncut version, which, you know, I think the theatrical one was bloody and like sleazy enough, so I think I'm good. I could wait like at least a year or two before I give that one a shot. Anyways, yeah, light 7 out of 10. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you boys next time.